Hi everyone, my name is Lizette Rodriguez and this is my textbook review. The book that I have is Reinventing Project-Based Learning, Your Field Guide to the Real-World Projects in the Digital Age. They mostly focus on calling this book throughout the book Reinventing Project-Based Learning. The book was written by both Susie Boss and Jane Cross. I would say that after reading this book, the main themes are about learning about how to use project-based learning in an evolving digital age and to move away from the traditional classroom and towards instructional design. So the authors, Susie Boss is a writer and educational consultant that focuses on the power of teaching and learning. She is an author of multiple project-based learning books and has published a wide range of other publications. She is a member of the national faculty of the Buck Institute for Education, where she worked with other educators to bring project-based learning to both traditional and informal learning settings. Jane Cross, she was a former teacher from Oregon. She would divide her time between working in program development for the National Center for Women and Information Technology and for project-based learning in the U.S. and internationally. She was a director of professional development at ISTE, which is actually the publication for this book, and where she managed programs for technology integration for educators. The thesis of this book is taking the traditional hands-on experience and transitioning to using the hands-on experience with technology. I would say that the novelty of this book is to use it throughout your journey of being a teacher. How they referenced it in the book is that they want you to reference your book throughout your career as a teacher and build on what you are reading with what you are doing in the classroom. So a summary. In the book, it is used to transform learning into a more active, student-driven experience while using technology tools for inquiry, collaboration, and connection to the world beyond the classroom. And they focused a lot on having technology be a tool in the project-based learning process instead of having the technology be the focus for project-based learning. They had 5 sections throughout the book. It was broken down into anticipation, packing up, navigating the learning experience, expanding your circle, and unpacking. Within each section of the book, they had 4 main areas that they focused on, which is Spotlight, Your Turn, Technology Focus, and a Side Trip. So for Spotlight, they focused on giving examples of teachers, schools, and other promising models that work well with project-based learning. Your Turn, they would give suggestions for your own hands-on experience or for creating collaborative activities that promote deeper thinking for project-based learning. And then Technology Focus pretty much is self-explanatory. It gives information on technology that can help you support project-based learning. And for Side Trip, it is related resources that you can look into that help you with project-based learning. So for each of the sections that I mentioned, so there's anticipation. All of these I will come back to as I go into the analysis and evaluation, but I'll give a brief overview of it. So for anticipation, it assesses your readiness to teach with technology-rich, authentic projects. They create a professional learning community to build collaboration and enrich your teaching practice. In the section Packing Up, it focuses on establishing the framework for your project, designing a project-based learning either from scratch or adapting one that already exists, making assessments meaningful to boost learning and collaboration, and working on project management. For the section called Navigating the Learning Experience, it mostly focuses on strategies to help implement project-based learning in the classroom and to keep the project moving. And in the section expanding your circle, it is literally expanding your circle where you're building connections and celebrating success. And for unpacking, it's reflecting and growing on what you have already done. Moving on, we have analysis and evaluation. The author designed the book to take on the view of a journey book where they help us navigate through project-based learning. They want this to be a teacher guide for project-based learning that can be referenced throughout your whole career, just like how over here we have in the expanding circles, they want you to really come back and just build and grow and help others with their journey in using project-based learning. The author put a lot of thought into educating teachers in the steps of project-based learning and the integration of technology. The book was focused on introducing each step that they would recommend for project-based learning and then move into giving technology that supports the project. So each section of the book would talk about a step in project-based learning, such as finding resources before diving into project-based learning, and then would go into finding educational blogs or using Edutopia to find resources on project-based learning, just like how it is over here. We have all these steps right here that help us with building on in creating project-based learning, such as anticipation. It's kind of figuring out, okay, well, do I feel comfortable with using project-based learning in the classroom? And then there's packing up, where it's helping you figure out, okay, do I want to make one from scratch? Do I want to adapt a new one? How can I go about with managing this project in the classroom? And then with this section, it's strategies to help you implement it in the classroom and just keep it moving forward. Expanding your circles, finding other people that can help you build on this. And we have unpacking, where you're reflecting and growing and making sure that you're adapting to all the things that are improving in project-based learning. Provides past experiences for other teachers using technology with project-based learning. The authors wrote the book as a way to have all types of teachers get involved in project-based learning. You could be an experienced teacher looking to try something new with your students, or a new teacher trying to find what will work for your students. The book is a wide range of possibilities. You don't have to follow every single step. You can go ahead and skip to the end if you would like. Let's go back to the other slide. You can go ahead and come over here and just build connections and talk with other people to see if you're interested in even doing project-based learning. Or if you know that you already want to start something new, you can go ahead and jump into the navigating the learning experience. You don't necessarily need to go from the beginning of the book and build on it. You can take it from whatever step you want. But if you're a new teacher and you want to try something new, they recommend starting from the beginning of anticipation and slowly working your way into unpacking and growing. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. Conclusion. I felt that this was a great book to use when we were learning to use or apply project-based learning in your classroom. Some strengths. It was a very reader-friendly book. It kept me focused in reading. The terminology wasn't too complex, and I was able to understand everything that was going on in the book. It gives great details into what project-based learning should look like, gives useful tips and technology that can be helpful when using project-based learning. It is adaptable for all teachers, like I was talking about. The author took into account that not all teachers are willing to completely commit to one idea. So just creating the book allows the teachers to take it at their own pace. They don't need to go fully into turning their classroom into project-based learning, but they can see if they like what the book is saying or use bits and pieces from the book. Some weaknesses are some of the technology that they suggest in certain areas of the book are a little dated or no longer in service. I would say that the second edition of this book, which I have, helps out a little in keeping updated technology in the book. However, since this edition did come out in 2014, it is about 6, almost 7 years behind of the new technology and tools that there are today. And it is a little time consuming. The layout that they have for the book is a little time consuming. It's not something that can be done in one sitting. There are a lot of meticulous steps that need to be followed. And I knew a little bit of project-based learning before, but the way that this book lays out how to go about in implementing project-based learning, it made it seem a lot more manageable than I had originally thought. So this is definitely something that I want to put into practice in my future career as a teacher, and will be definitely keeping this book very close to me when I go into teaching. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for listening.